Well, good evening and welcome to the 2024 Last Stand annual meeting. I'm declaring that we have a quorum of members present and our meeting is now open. And my name is Ann Olson. I'm president of Last Stand and I've been with the board for about 5 years now. It's great to see a number of old friends joining us tonight, as well as some new members who joined us especially for this event. And we're pleased to see such a large number of both city and county officials with us tonight, including the Honorable Mayor Terry Johnson. Where'd you go? And we're exceedingly fortunate tonight to have such an esteemed panel of experts share their knowledge and their perspectives with us. So we're really excited. At Last Stand, so many of us feel that the issues that we're concerned about are interrelated, that overdevelopment impacts water quality as well as the availability of affordable workforce housing, hurricane evacuation and public safety, our environment, and just the overall quality of life here in the Keys. We feel the Keys are at a critical juncture, and we've asked those who not only help set the carrying capacity standards for the Keys, but for those who have toiled for decades to help preserve and protect this unique island environment, to come back together and help us envision what the future might look like and how we might write the best possible future for the Keys going forward so we can ensure that we all protect our investment here in Paradise. For those of you who've been in the Keys for a while now, our subject matter isn't new. But gosh, there's been a lot of changes and developments, and I mean that both literally and figuratively, in the past year. And it's been an important year for Last Stand as well. If you were here last year, you may have heard us say one of our greatest challenges was simply our own survival. Because we're an all-volunteer board, and with fewer year-round residents in the Keys every year, it's hard to find volunteers. So this year, we took steps to refocus and reinvigorate our efforts. The first thing that helped was finding a phenomenal executive coordinator, our one paid staffer, Mary Spillane. I hope you all had a chance to meet her when you came through the door, but she came to us with a wealth of nonprofit experience, and we're delighted to have her. And next, we sought some outside help, first with Elisa Levy, who facilitated several strategic planning sessions to help us better identify what we'd focus on and how we'd do it. Like many nonprofits, and as I just mentioned, our ongoing challenge is to find more volunteers. So we've created more ways you can work with us based on your skill set or the time that you have available. You could become a board member or an alternate director, an advisor, or just a volunteer. And hint, that's my first plug for volunteers tonight. Our next step was to partner with Duval Street Media to improve our messaging to you, our members, as well as the wider community. We've never stopped working, but sometimes we're so busy monitoring city and county commission meetings, writing letters, speaking out on issues, that we don't share that involvement or activity back to our members. So with some outside help, we updated our website, and if you haven't been there lately, please check it out. Created a number of new videos that tell our story in quick 30-second clips, and created both a new look and a new commitment to our emails, our newsletters, and our community action alerts. We even gave the old Bugle an update, first time since 1987. Then in November, we reached out with a cocktail mixer at the Gardens Hotel, saw some of you there for that as well. Basically an effort to broaden our membership and to welcome new residents and homeowners in the Keys who might not know about us. So that's a little bit about how we made the changes this year, but even more important was what we did this year. Now, I don't expect you to actually be able to read this slide, but after our secretary, Joyce Newman, summarized our year in projects, I just had to show it. It's a quick thumbnail overview of all the stuff we worked on month by month. And now let's actually take a look at some of those projects. So overarching everything we do, we're the one organization in the Keys that monitors and attends both city and county commission meetings, planning commission meetings, and more. It's a lot of meetings. And as an advocacy group, we remind policymakers of our comprehensive plans and urge them to stick to these plans and regulations. We also send out alerts to our members and to our wider mailing list, as well as coordinate with other KEYS organizations when something needs your attention or more community-wide involvement. Much of what we do is about quality of life issues, and this year we've been laser focused on hurricane evacuation modeling, asking all policymakers to put public safety first and adhere to the 24-hour evacuation mandate, which most have now done. Yay. Why are we so concerned about evacuation policies? Well, it's because so many of the programs that were designed decades ago as the guardrails to limit growth and protect the KEYS environment and quality of life seem to be eroding. To illustrate how critical this is right now, not even 2 weeks ago, we witnessed the city of Marathon put their own resolution together that didn't match the county or all the other municipalities to rationally review and discuss the issue over the next year, but instead to proceed with asking for all 8,000 ROGOs and to increase the 24-hour evacuation limit. We've all seen the amount of development, daily traffic, and changes to our community that have taken place with just the 3,500 ROGOs over the past 10 years. Can you imagine what another 3,500 ROGOs or more than double that might be like? Which brings me to one other point, and I'm often asked, why bother? The fix is in, there's no stopping these changes, but can you imagine if no one asked questions or spoke up? We think our persistent letters and emails early last year actually triggered Florida Commerce to hold public meetings about evacuation modeling. And while they provided almost no notice, there were 2 sets of community meetings, first seeking input and then later providing the evacuation modeling results. We've asked for representation among this year's working group to include more citizen and advocacy groups and not just pro-development interests. And we'll likely be reaching back out to you with action alerts of how you can help us as these things progress. And now I'd like to turn things over to my colleague, Andrea, who can tell you a little bit more.
Thank you, Anne. Hi, I'm Andrea Strawn, and I'm the Vice President of Last Stand, and I have been with the organization now for 3 years. In that time, Last Stand has remained vocal about overdevelopment issues and the resulting increase in traffic in the Keys. In fact, the 2023 traffic study determined US 1 actually received a failing grade. This is supposed to mean a halt of development until the situation is corrected. However, the county dismissed the current study and will rerun the model. For now, they're using a COVID-era study that passed due to the reduced traffic in that year. Traffic matters. Traffic matters to both our quality of life, our safe hurricane evacuation. And as we've seen in the past month alone, 1 fatal accident shut down our only road for an entire day. 3 back-to-back accidents this month shut US 1 down for hours. Imagine if you needed to leave the Keys quickly and simply couldn't. Another place citizen advocacy has been critical is water quality. And as you can see on this slide, here's our board member, Dawn DeMaria, taking water samples in the Lower Keys last month, only to discover one of the worst algal blooms in the Lower Keys. Last Stand has also challenged the use of shallow sewage wells in the past, and more recently supported the work done by Friends of the Lower Keys to end shallow wells through their federal Clean Water Act lawsuit. This problem isn't completely solved, though. Several of tonight's panelists can attest not all our wastewater problems are local, but we have to do what we can to clean up our own backyard because it's a marine sanctuary. Last Stand has also continued to speak out on affordable workforce housing and development plans that do not feature inclusionary workforce housing or do not meet our local comprehensive plans. We've urged policymakers to target the biggest issues that reduce workforce housing, such as the huge increase in vacation rentals and the seemingly endless advertising by the TDC. In the Lower Keys, we're also keeping a close eye on another proposed hotel vacation condo project that exceeds density limits and the surrounding neighborhood, as well as local building height restrictions. Thanks to citizen advocacy, those plans are on hold for now, but that could change any time. As an advocacy group, Last Stand's goal is to represent your issues to the local to policymakers. So it's important we touch base with you, our members, to touch base with you on the issues that you feel are most critical. If you haven't already done so, we ask you to complete our brief survey. You can find it on our website via the QR code on the poster at the back of the room, where Bob is, hi Bob, or via handouts we distributed tonight. While we can't take on every issue, since we're just a small group of volunteers, we do want to make sure our goals align with yours, our members. Speaking of our goals and volunteers, tonight we want to honor another excellent example of a concerned citizen doing good for the Florida Keys. This year's special recognition award goes to Karen Balcony. And just a little about Karen. Since we first met Karen, she has worked diligently and without compensation to provide legal expertise to groups like ours and many others. Since she's aided in the 2018 Rogo Challenge, the Cujo Regional Treatment Plant's Deep Well, and most recently, after years of collecting data, pulling together scientists and experts, volunteers to collect water samples, and amassing a team of National Clean Water Act lawyers, she successfully challenged the city of Marathon to stop using shallow sewage wells, one of the largest users of shallow wells in the Keys. And that settlement happened just last month, as you know, and is a testament to Karen's perseverance, skill, and dedication. We thank you so much, Karen. Our nearshore waters and marine ecosystems thank you too.